to do a video just based around how much I spend on tolls with RV transport. So I know I cover it usually in my like weekly videos, but I was looking at my Illinois Tollway app, and it totals it up over like the past 30 days or 28 days or whatever it is. And I mean, I should have already known this because I see that I'm spending 150 to 200 a week on tolls, but it just kind of was a shocker when I saw that I had spent $850 on tolls in the last like 28 days. Now, granted that my work truck is also tied into that account, but it's not really getting used right now, but it got driven a couple times this month. And then my wife's vehicle is also on that account, but she doesn't get on the highway a lot, so there's probably a few tolls in there with her car. But I would say at least $800 of the tolls are from RV transport. So it'll be interesting because I'm going to add up. I think what I'll do is I'll add up my total for March when I do the RV transport total, and then I'll add up the total that I spend in tolls for March as well, and I can see what percentage of my total income is going to tolls. And I think it's going to be somewhere in that like 8 to 10% range. And with the company that I'm leased on with, we don't get reimbursed for the loaded tolls. I know a lot of companies will reimburse their drivers for the loaded tolls when they're towing the campers. I don't get that, so it's in my benefit to try to find routes that are not toll roads. But it is kind of hard to get from like Elkhart to Wisconsin without hitting some tolls. You're going to add some time to your drive. So you kind of have to balance, is it worth adding X amount of time to not pay a toll? And then that's what I'm looking at every single time. Like yesterday, I went around the tolls. I didn't pay any with the camper. And then on the way home, I did hit a couple tolls. But I was not loaded, so the tolls aren't as expensive because they charge you more when you've got a trailer on. Today, I had to be home at a certain time. I knew I wanted to get home to relieve my mom from babysitting, so I did not avoid the tolls. So I know that toll going from Illinois to Wisconsin was probably like a $12 toll with the trailer on. So it'll be interesting to see. I can go back and look, but with a shorter load like this one, after I paid tolls and fuel off of a $420 tab or payout, there's not a ton left over. So you're looking at best like $300 for days worth of work, but you got to run the short ones every once in a while. The hard part is you're hitting the same tolls going to that short one as you would if you were going to like Green Bay, because once you get into Wisconsin, there's no tolls. So it's like I'm paying the same amount in tolls to go to like that shortest run as I would to go to some of the longer or the longest runs, because like I said, once you hit Wisconsin, you're done with the tolls. So then it's just gas expense at that point. But yeah, so I do have to try to make it to the Signs of the Times again and try to get another sign holder, because the aluminum holder that goes on my window, it cracked right in half with the wind the other night, or whenever I had that. Yeah, when I had that 50-mile-an-hour winds the last time, it like ripped up and it bent all the way up where it was like touching the top of the truck. And then I think it was like last week Friday when we had the 40-mile-an-hour gusts, it snapped right in half. So now it's in two pieces. The tape's holding it together, but it's not really sticking to my window well. Like when I close it, it kind of flaps, and then like today without the wind, when the wind started picking up, it ripped it right up again, and it was slapping the top of my truck. It ended up actually scratching my window tint on my window. So that's the downsides to having an aluminum truck. it's actually easier if you just have a steel one. You toss the magnets on. And the window, I mean, the signs of the times window holders are nice, but if you get the high winds, even if you tuck it into your window trim, it'll still pull it out and rip it up. So my one on the passenger side is fine because the wind's always coming from the west, and I'm usually driving with them on, with the driver's side on the west, so it just rips it up. But I may have to just start using painter's tape for right now until I got time to stop in Elkhart and hope they have one. I have to call them and see. Last time I got the last two they had that were emptied, or like blanks. Usually they have them custom printed. So we'll see. But yeah, I just wanted to go over those numbers with the tolls. Let me know if you're an RV transporter, how are your tolls? Like what are your expenses and what percentage of your total pay goes to it? Does your company reimburse you for loaded tolls, or maybe they reimburse you for loaded and unloaded? I'd be interested to know how all that plays out. But yeah, it's definitely an expense that you got to be aware of because it adds up really quickly. So yeah, I think it's going to be like 8 to 10% of the total.